What to do when you are purging, whether it's a physical purge or an emotional purge. I wanted to share with you what I'm doing because I am currently going through a purge, and I wanted to explain where it came from and what I'm doing to move myself through it so that you can do that too. That's what we're doing today. Stick around. My name is Hedley Derenzie, and you are the star of your life movie. If you would like support stepping more consciously into that starring role, I am available for one-to-one law of assumption coaching. I also have a free 21-day Set Yourself Up with the Ultimate Self-Concept course, which is the ultimate story that you want to be telling. And I'm about to have a new book coming out, which is part of what I'm going to be talking about today. So that's what we're doing. Stick around. Okay, well, I am in the middle of a purge, and I can tell you it's not pleasant. This is actually the first purge that I have been through since coming into the law of assumption a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. I can't really remember at which point I did a lot of purging, because that tends to be the case when you're coming in and you're bringing all of the old stories to the surface. You can experience some kind of emotional or physical purge, whether that is getting sick, or like having some kind of infection, or having kind of what feels like a mental breakdown, even though it's not. It's just like there might be a lot of tears, a lot of crying, a lot of snot, a lot of wailing, a lot of anger. It could be anything, but it's all about allowing time and space for the body to release the old stories that are no longer needed in consciousness, because things do have to come up and out of us, and part of this process can be a purge, and that is what I'm currently experiencing. And it's been really interesting for me because I have not experienced this, as I said, since coming in and going through the first lot of purging. There might have been like a little one here and there, but I haven't been sick. I haven't been physically sick since coming into these teachings, and I wanted to explain why that is. So in the past, prior to law of assumption, I would have woken up and found myself feeling this way, and I would have gone into the story of being sick, and with that comes a lot of negative thoughts, a lot of negative assumptions. That is no longer the case. So what happened this time is I woke up with what felt like a chest infection. Weirdly, there is no infection, but there is a deep cough that is coming from deep in my chest. And it's no coincidence that I have just finished writing my book, which is the first book that I've written since coming into law of assumption, because I was like, I'm not going to write another book. I'm finished with writing, because I didn't understand what was happening, and I didn't know that the stories that I was writing in the past was actually causing my reality. And so when I realized that, I stopped writing, and I was like, I'm not going to write again. Anyway, so coming into law of assumption, I realized, oh my gosh, there is so much to write about. I don't have to write about myself. I don't have to write about my past. I can write about this incredible adventure and these incredible teachings of the law of assumption. So that is what I did. I wrote a book, and it will be ready very soon. It's called I Am Money. So that will be out shortly. I'm just in the editing phase. But what happened with the writing of this book, I have always had money in my reality. Money has always been present in my reality, but I have not always had a great relationship with money. So I have had a lot of fear and a lot of anxiety to do with my money story. And I wrote this book because I obviously want to improve my money story so that I can have a loving, healthy relationship with money for the rest of my days. And I know the law of assumption now, and I understand how these teachings work, and I understand how they work with money. So I decided to write this book, I Am Money, and it was amazing because I learned so much through the writing of the book. It was like I was the first reader of this book, and I was actually learning as I was writing. So even though I understand these principles, I was getting so much more understanding of who I am and what money is and what this whole experience is through the writing. But also what was happening, I had to become aware of my own money story. So what I'm experiencing now is no accident that it is happening as I have finished the writing of this book. So I finished the writing of this book, and then this came on. And this is my old money story coming up and out, because I now have a new money story. The writing of this book has enabled me to write that story, but the old story has had to come out. So I now understand what is going on in my body when this happens. This is the first time it's happened, and writing a book is deep work. So I can understand how this came in. But the reason that I wanted to share this with you is because if you are going through this purge, I want you to ask yourself what is going on or what has been going on recently for this to come up, because it might have been a physical thing, like I slept with the aircon on and then I woke up with a sore throat and then this thing developed. So I could have said, oh, well, it just came on from sleeping with the aircon. But as Neville says, you cannot be sick unless the state of consciousness of sickness exists within you. So there had to be a consciousness of sickness within me for this to emerge. Now, I would say that I have had a sickness with my money story. I have been in fear, I have been in anxiety, I have been in limitation, I have been in all of the negative assumptions around money. Even though I've had money in my reality, I've still had a negative story about it. I've still had negative assumptions, and this writing of this book has enabled me to bring them to the surface, and now I've been coughing them out. Weirdly though, there's no infection, so it's not like I've been coughing up an infection. Sorry if it's too much information. So it's just this something is here, because I can feel it here. I still have it, I'm still in it, it's still coming up and out. It's coming from deep in my chest. So I know that this is a release, a letting go. This is a letting go process. This is the old story that is no longer needed in the body. It has to come up and out in some way, and this is part of the process. And so if you are experiencing some kind of purge, ask yourself, what is going on in your reality? Like, what are the stories that you're working with? What are the situations that you're working with? Have you just been through a breakup? Because that can really bring something on. Are you working with your old relationship or love stories? Are you working with your money story? Whatever it is, what is going on in your reality that may be triggering this purge, and see it as a release. This is not you being sick or weak or ill or broken or damaged in some way. There's nothing wrong with you, because that can often be a story when we're sick, that, oh my God, I'm failing in some way because I'm not healthy, and the thoughts can turn really negative, and it doesn't have to, because purging is a wonderful thing. It's not comfortable. I am not comfortable with this cough. I've been coughing all day. I've been coughing through my client sessions. I've had to excuse myself multiple times. It's not great, but I also know what it is. And so I'm allowing it to happen. I'm allowing it to move through me, and I'm actually understanding what it is. It's the coming up and the out of the old story. I'm literally coughing up the old story, not literally, metaphorically. It is coming out. I am now entering into a new story. You will read about it soon in my new book, but this book is deep. When you bring up an old story that's been with you since birth, it's the stories and assumptions you've inherited from your caregivers. And this story, my money story, I inherited from my parents, and they inherited it from their parents, and their parents inherited it from their parents. This is deep stuff. These stories, this state of consciousness has been passed down from generation to generation to generation. So this is the stuff that's coming up and out. So it is actually a really positive thing if you can see it that way, and I would encourage you to see these purgings as a positive thing, as a releasing, as a letting go, as a sign of a new beginning. There is a new beginning, and you have to do what you need to do in order to move yourself through this process. So be gentle with yourself, rest, drink lots of water, lots of tea, be in nature, do whatever you need to do to make this process as easy for you as you can. I am resting. I've had to say no to a few social things. So you do what you need to do in order to allow yourself to purge the old story, knowing that that's just what it is. That's all it is, and it will pass. It will not stick around. It's just moving through you. This stuff is dynamic, and it's been in the body for a really long time. Consciousness, if it's not moved, will form into some kind of physical ailment. This is all part of this beautiful process. I know it is not comfortable. You do not need to go into any negative stories around this stuff. It's just a purge. It's just your body letting things go that are no longer needed. So allow yourself to purge if you're purging. Do what you need to do to make yourself as comfortable as possible, knowing that it has to move through reality. It has to come up and out. And so that process isn't comfortable, but it will pass. This can be a really positive experience if you allow it to be, if you hold the assumption that that is what is happening. I'm actually super excited by this, because I'm like, oh yeah, we're getting this shit out. We don't need this shit anymore. We have a whole new money story, and I am so excited to be sharing this with you soon. I'm so excited about this book. I'm more excited about this book than any other book I've ever written, because this book is going to help you. If you have a money story that you're not happy with, or you'd like to have a better money story, this is definitely going to help you. So I'll have more information in the next few months. I still have a bit of editing to do, but that is something to look forward to. So I just wanted to share that with you. As always, please remember, you are the amazing creators of your reality. You are the superstar of your show. You are the producer, the writer, the director, and the actor in your movie. What you assume to be true will be so. So assume the best for you, assume the best for everyone in your movie too, and you will have an amazing life. And this is my wish, my vision, and my prayer for you. And I am going to go and have a little rest now. I will look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.